teeth can heal. But the healing of the tooth comes from the superfluids.
What is superfluid for teeth? In this video, Barbara O'Neill will open our eyes on how to maintain the health of teeth. How to heal teeth. We will also learn about the specific vegetables and fruits that are great for teeth.
Teeth are the only exposed bones in the body. And just as if a bone breaks, it'll heal, teeth can heal.
The upcoming lecture on the health of teeth from Barbara comes from a book called Holistic Dental Care, The Complete Guide to Healthy Teeth and Gums by Nadine Artemis. It is a guide to natural oral health that emphasizes a holistic approach to dental care. It explains how diet, lifestyle, and natural remedies can prevent common dental issues like cavities, gum disease, and tooth decay. The best-selling author shares techniques for oil pulling, herbal rinses, and using essential oils to support oral health, focusing on how to keep the mouth's microbiome balanced.
Holistic Dental is a book written by Nadine Artemis. And Nadine Artemis, she presents some fascinating things. She looks pretty much at what I've looked at here, but she goes a little bit further with the teeth, which are the only exposed bone in our body, and they should not be deteriorating. And if they do have a little decay, they have the ability to heal themselves, as every other body tissue does. So why aren't they healing? Maybe they haven't been given the right times, or they have not been given the right conditions. And she calls these two superfluids. So what are your two superfluids? And these two superfluids are constantly bathing the teeth and nourishing the teeth. One is the internal. So the internal fluid would be your blood and your lymph. And remember what the lymph does, it sweeps away waste from the tissues. And remember what the blood does, it comes along with the nutrition, it comes along with the oxygen, it comes along with the water, the white blood cells. This internal fluid is bathing from the inside. And your external fluid is your saliva. Now both the internal fluid and the external fluid, their quality is totally dependent on fresh air, sunshine, not taking anything in that will harm it, going to bed early, exercising every day, having a nourishing diet, having food that has the quality, the ingredients to build a healthy body, drinking adequate water. If you don't drink adequate water, that saliva does not have the ability to bathe, soothe, nourish, and heal. When you look after your bones, you are also looking after your teeth.
Taking care of mental health is also important for teeth.
Spiritual, emotional, and mental aspects of disease. Stress inhibits healing. Stress, worry, anxiety interrupts with all body processes, and I think that's not a surprise to anyone. So we need to be sure that our internal and external fluids are of the top quality to allow our teeth to heal. But something else this is causing teeth to deteriorate, and that is food caught between the teeth. As one dentist said, only floss the teeth that you want to keep.
Don't forget to floss for better teeth.
When food is caught between the teeth, it basically starts to rot. So what happens then is what causes it to rot is in that moist environment, you've got so many microbes in your mouth, they're coming along to clean it up. And as the bacteria and the yeast start to break down that food between the teeth, they give off a waste, and that waste has the ability to start eating away at the enamel on the teeth.
Rinsing after meal is essential.
So make sure after every meal you rinse your mouth. Rinse your mouth very well. You can rinse it with seawater. You can rinse it with a mixture of sodium bicarbonate water and floss those teeth. Keep them clean, especially before you go to sleep at night, because by morning, wow, those microorganisms have had a party in there. And they've been able to have a lot of food in between those teeth, and they also have the ability to damage those the dentine that covers the teeth. So very important to rinse, very important to floss. In fact, both of these are even more important than cleaning with a toothbrush.
Oil pulling with coconut oil is great for teeth.
So oil pulling is using coconut oil. It's putting the oil in your mouth and it's swishing. You might swish for 10, rest for 10, swish for 10 seconds, rest for 10 seconds. It's called oil pulling because it can pull waste out of the tongue, it can pull waste out of the glands under the tongue. It can pull waste out of the blood vessels under the tongue, and then you release that oil out on the grass. Don't release it down the plug hole or you'll plug up your plumbing. And take some water with you and rinse again and release that out. Teeth should not be deteriorating. And remember, if you have a little bit of decay, then it's important that you rinse and floss after every meal, that you oil pull maybe a couple of times a day. Just be mindful that keeping that mouth clean will prevent tooth decay and also encourage tooth healing.
Now we understand that we should clean our teeth to stop decay, but how about healing of the teeth? Barbara shares a simple solution to the healing of teeth.
But the healing of the tooth comes from the superfluids, the internal blood and lymph, and the external fluid. Their quality is totally dependent on the food you're eating, how much you're drinking, going to bed early, so all of these things.
Now let's talk about food. What we should avoid and what we should eat for healthy teeth. First, let's talk about what we should avoid and then talk about 3 vegetables that are great for teeth health. Avoid sugar.
Sugar is one of the worst because you know what sugar does? It just feeds all those little microbes that are breaking down the things that are caught between your teeth. So those sugary drinks are particularly damaging to the teeth.
Sugary drinks are particularly damaging to teeth because they fuel bacteria in the mouth that produce enamel-eroding acids, and many of these drinks are acidic themselves, further weakening enamel. Sipping on these drinks over time prolongs exposure, allowing acids to do more damage, and they can reduce saliva's ability to naturally protect teeth. This combination of sugar, acid, and prolonged contact significantly raises the risk of cavities, tooth sensitivity, and decay. Switching to water or low sugar, low acid drinks helps minimize this damage. Now let's talk about what we should enjoy for our teeth health. The best fruit that Barbara recommends is apple.
One of the best things to eat is an apple. Your teeth and your mouth need crunchy things. So with a refined diet today, there's hardly any crunch, have you noticed? But apples require you to crunch. And when you crunch, that is strengthening the teeth, it is strengthening the jaws, it is strengthening the gums. No wonder the old saying says an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So get used to crunchy things.
And we should also eat vegetables for our teeth.
Every day we should have salad. So at lunchtime we always have a salad.
And out of salad, there are 3 vegetables that Barbara picks out as being great for teeth health.
Celery is particularly good, and carrots that crunching in the mouth. Children love raw carrots. Cucumbers, all of those crunchy foods. They're strengthening the gums, strengthening the teeth. They are also strengthening the jaws. This explains why breastfeeding is so important for children. When babies breastfeed, it takes a lot of work to get the milk out of the breast, but that hard work that the baby does, it strengthens the jaw. It causes the roof of the mouth to form properly with that tongue pressing against it. It gets that jaw ready for the teeth to come through.
A strong jaw is important for teeth health. The jawbone provides essential support for teeth, keeping them securely anchored and aligned. When the jaw is strong and well developed, it distributes biting and chewing forces evenly across the teeth, helping to prevent excessive wear or damage. A strong jaw also reduces the risk of bone loss, which can lead to loose teeth, receding gums, and even tooth loss over time. Additionally, good jaw alignment helps prevent issues like TMJ, temporomandibular joint disorders, which can contribute to teeth grinding, bruxism, and wear. So Barbara has suggested eating celery, carrots, and cucumber for strengthening the jaw. If you have any other vegetables to recommend, please share your experience by commenting in this video.